Tung 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 Sahur saves Ballerina Cappuccina, Episode 8, in the theater. Great excitement reigned. Crocodilo Ananasino was very ugly, but he was far from being as bad as he looked. Proof of this is that, when he saw the poor wooden creature being brought into him, struggling with fear and crying, "I don't want to die. I don't want to die. You are saved." The way was just as good as any other to show the kindness of his heart. He felt sorry for him, and began first to waver, and then to weaken. Finally, he could control himself no longer, and gave a loud sneeze. At that sneeze, Ballerina Cappuccina, who until then had been as sad as a weeping willow, smiled happily, and leaning toward the wooden creature, whispered to him, "Your wails give me a funny feeling down here in my stomach, Andy Chi-Chi." 2 loud sneezes finished his speech. 3 more sneezes sounded louder than ever. "Good news, my love. Crocodilo Ananasino has sneezed, and this is a sign that he feels sorry for you. For, be it known, that, while other people, when sad and sorrowful, weep and wipe their eyes, Crocodilo Ananasino, on the other hand, had the strange habit of sneezing each time he felt unhappy. After sneezing, Crocodilo Ananasino, ugly as ever, cried to Tung 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 Sahur. "Stop crying, God bless you," said Tung 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 Sahur. "Thanks. Are your father and mother still living?" demanded Crocodilo Ananasino. "My good dinner is spoiled. I have no more wood for the fire, and the lamb is only half cooked. Never mind. I'll just take Ballerina Cappuccina instead. She can be my wife and cook for me forever. My father, yes. My mother, I have never known. Your poor father would suffer terribly if I were to use you as firewood. Poor old man. I feel sorry for him. Chi, chi, each, chi. God bless you," said Tung 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 Sahur. "Thanks. However, I ought to be sorry for myself too, just now." Stroked his long snout, and becoming suddenly kind and compassionate, smiled proudly as he said to Tung 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 Sahur. At the call, 2 officers appeared, long and thin as a yard of rope, with funny hats on their heads and swords in their hands. Crocodilo Ananasino yelled at them in a hoarse voice, "I will take Ballerina Cappuccina in your place. I am hungry and my dinner must be cooked. Take Ballerina Cappuccina, tie her, and take her away." Even the officers, who were made of wood, also cried like 2 babies. "In that case, my duty is clear. Come, officers, tie me up and throw me on those flames." And after 4 or 5 sneezes, he opened wide his arms and said to Tung 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 Sahur, "No, it is not fair for poor Ballerina Cappuccina, the best friend that I have in the world, to die in my place," answered Crocodilo Ananasino. And sighing and wagging his head, he added, "Well, tonight I shall have to eat my lamb only half cooked, but beware the next time." Think how poor Ballerina Cappuccina felt. She was so scared that her legs doubled up under her, and she fell to the floor. Tung 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 Sahur, at that heartbreaking sight, threw himself at the feet of Crocodilo Ananasino, and weeping bitterly, asked in a pitiful voice which could scarcely be heard, "Have pity, I beg of you, signori. There are no signoras here. Have pity, kind sir. There are no sirs here. Have pity, your excellency." On hearing himself addressed as Your Excellency, the director of the 4U Theater sat up very straight in his chair. "Well, what do you want from me now, wooden creature? I beg for mercy for my poor friend Ballerina Cappuccina, who has never done the least harm in her life." "There is no mercy here, Tung 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 Sahur. I have spared you." "In that case, said Tung 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 Sahur proudly, as he stood up and flung away his cap of dough. These brave words, said in a piercing voice, made all the other creatures cry. Crocodilo Ananasino at first remained hard and cold as a piece of ice, but then, little by little, he softened and began to sneeze. "You are a brave boy. Come to my arms and kiss me." Tung 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 Sahur ran to him, and scurrying like a squirrel up the long black beard, he gave Crocodilo Ananasino a loving kiss on the tip of his nose. "Has pardon been granted to me?" asked poor Ballerina Cappuccina, with a voice that was hardly a breath. "Pardon is yours." At the news that pardon had been given, the crew ran to the stage, and, turning on all the lights, they danced and sang till dawn.